Okay, so here's the sacral chakra flow with all of the poses together. We'll start with the butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You can hold on to the ankles or the feet. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Belly button is up and in. Reach the crown of the head up toward the sky. 3 inhales and exhales. Okay, then we'll come on out of that one. Just kind of roll over the legs here. Find yourself first in that tabletop, and then tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg high, and exhale, bring that right foot forward in between the hands. Find that runner's lunge first, and then rise up. Crescent lunge. Keep that left heel lifted. Nice deep bend in that front leg. The knee is over the ankle. Push into that big toe mound on that right foot. Tiny adjustments in the hips. Right hip might need to come back a little bit. Left hip a little more forward. Belly button is up and in. Hold it strong here. 3 rounds of breath. On your third exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat. Step it back, find that downward dog again. And lift that left leg up and back. Step it through. Find that runner's lunge and then rise up. Crescent lunge. Bring that left knee over that left ankle. Nice deep bend. Little adjustments in the hips. Left hip back, right hip a little more forward. 3 rounds of breath. On the exhale this time, just come on up to a standing position. Legs somewhat wide here, toes pointing out. And we'll find that goddess squat. So squat into the legs here. Bring the arms up to a cactus. Elbows are shoulder height. Palms in toward each other. Try to keep those shoulders over the hips. Nice deep squat here. 3 inhales and exhales. Stand it up, shake it out. Next we'll do our triangle. I'm going to use a block. Super handy. For this one, you'll place the feet about the same distance as they were in your goddess pose. That left foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Right toes are going forward. And then we keep both legs straight here, arms to a T. Start reaching those right fingertips forward, left hip back. Once you find your edge, tick-tock the arms to 6 o'clock. And maybe you're using a block here. Rotate the heart up. Keep reaching up with that left hand. Push the hips forward. Send the shoulders back. It's our extended triangle pose. 3 rounds of breath. And then we'll come out of that, find some movement if you need it. And we'll do that on the other side. So I'm just going to move my block. And this time I'll have my right foot parallel with the back of the mat, left toes going forward. Bring the arms to a T. Start reaching those left fingertips forward. Right hip back, tick-tock the arms to 6 o'clock. And maybe you're using the block. Rotate the heart up, reach up with that right hand, push the hips forward, bring the shoulders back. 3 rounds of breath. And then come on out, shake it out. And we'll make our way down to the mat for that seated forward fold. So remember, if the low back is bugging you today, just a little bend in the knees is good. But keep flexing those toes back toward the face, shoulders over the hips. Bring those arms forward, palms up. And then start hinging forward from the waist, sending the chin toward the toes. Once you find that edge, palms down to the mat, round into the spine, send the forehead toward the knees. And then here's where you can find some more room in the backs of the legs. Maybe you grab behind the heels here and pull the upper body down and forward. 3 rounds of breath here. And go ahead and release that. Roll yourself back up. Maybe shake out the legs. And then we're headed to that wide angle seated forward fold here. I like to use a small bolster. Just sitting on the edge of it helps tilt the pelvis forward. Legs are as wide as your capacity is today. Place the palms in front of you on the floor and then just slide the palms forward. Try to keep a flat back. And then once you find your edge, just stay here. Keep that head lifted. This just helps us keep the back flat. And take 3 rounds of breath. And then walk your hands back. Maybe use the hands to bring the knees back together. Find some movement here. And then we're heading into that reclined hero pose. And again, maybe hold on to that small bolster. We're sitting here on the shins. Bringing the hips down to the mat in between the heels. And then we lower ourselves down onto the elbows, and then the head, and then the shoulder blades. See if you can soften tension somewhere. This one's a pretty intense one. 3 rounds of breath. And to come out of that, plant those elbows back down. Use your hands behind you to lift yourself out. And then bring the legs back out in front of you. Find some movement here. Whew, nice work.